What is going on, you guys? Keith Carnes here with a new video for you guys. This one is reviewing last night's WWE Night of Champions 2012 pay-per-view. Before I start the results and my opinion on each match that took place last night at the pay-per-view, let me first say that it was very exciting to see John Bradshaw Layfield take Jerry Lawler's place while Jerry Lawler makes a recovery from his heart attack. Secondly, if you have not seen the show and you don't want any spoilers because you plan on watching it later, or you want to find out everything that happened last night on tonight's Monday Night Raw, then I advise you to leave now. Okay. So, of course, WWE Night of Champions was live and started with a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship match. In this match, we had The Miz versus Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. And it was a pretty solid match. I mean, it was definitely a great way to open up a big pay-per-view like Night of Champions, to where every championship is on the line. And Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara definitely had some good moments together, but not anything that they should have. I mean, they should have had a couple high-flying hits on each other before the match ended. And unfortunately, every time they kind of, locked up together, nothing really solid happened between the two. And I think that was kind of a mistake by WWE, because they could have started really building the Rey Mysterio-Sin Cara feud, because we all know what's coming, and we already know Sin Cara is going to turn heel. As far as The Miz and Cody Rhodes having a feud, they did it pretty much right in the match. They had the two try to work together, but it never really panned out. They ended up wanting to beat each other up more than they did either Sin Cara or Rey Mysterio. And The Miz getting the pinfall on Cody Rhodes will only add to their feud, which is a good move by WWE to have Miz cleanly pin Cody Rhodes after the skull-crushing finale. Excuse me. Sorry, let me get the next matchup here. I want to look at the match because when I reviewed, I believe it was SummerSlam, I forgot a match or two, and I hate doing that. Alright, yeah, okay, so next up was the WWE Tag Team Championship. The unlikely team and challengers of the match were Daniel Bryan and Kane against champions Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. Now, here's a match that I actually surprisingly enjoyed, and shows you that WWE is that much closer to bringing back a strong tag team division. Even though Daniel Bryan and Kane aren't actually going to be going into history as one of the biggest tag teams of all time, and they are random superstars who don't really belong in a tag team, they definitely played a tag team role very well. While defending champions Kofi Kingston and R-Truth are actually starting to be more known as tag team wrestlers than when they were single competitors. And let's face it, neither R-Truth nor Kofi Kingston really have a future in WWE outside a tag team division, which is why they're a tag team to begin with. Anyway, they did a battle, this and that. It was a really good match. I loved how Kane and Daniel Bryan hugged it out. That was a really funny moment. Definitely made me laugh. And then, of course, we saw it was actually they're disagreeing and everything, and it was Kane who was pushed off the top rope by Daniel Bryan, landed on Kofi Kingston to get the 3 count. Definitely a good, solid tag team match. Nice to see the tag team division starting to make a return. Now, also during the night, Caitlyn was injured and attacked by somebody who was obviously Eve and had to be replaced, but was told you'll get your you'll get your Divas Championship match later down the road once you're able to come back. So Eve officially took her place, appointed by SmackDown GM Booker T. So that match was later in the night. I'll, of course, go over that. So next up, we got the United States Championship. Zack Ryder challenged Antonia Cesaro with the beautiful Exana at ringside. It was a pretty short match, nothing special. Both men were kind of boring in their match, and overall it was Exana who pretty much distracted Zack Ryder and got him destroyed with a 3. And I gotta say that even Antonio Cesaro, he did win the match, but it did have a really cool moment in it when Antonio Cesaro put Ryder on his shoulders, threw him up in the air, and actually kind of uppercutted him. That was pretty cool, and even I hit rewind to see it really quick again, because it was definitely the highlight of the match. After that, we had Dolph Ziggler with, of course, Vicky Guerrero at ringside against the Viper Randy Orton, or whatever the fuck he's calling himself now. This match was extremely and awkwardly long, and I say awkwardly because there was no reason for it to be a really extended match, but it was. And I know what it is. I think they're trying to really build up Ziggler, so they wanted to put him in a full-length match. I mean, in a really, really longer than usual match with Randy Orton. But when you're trying to build somebody up, especially Ziggler, who's currently Mr. Money in the Bank, and is expected to cash in the title cash in the briefcase any night now during an event, I really have to highly disagree with the outcome of Orton-Ziggler. Having Randy Orton defeat Ziggler in the end was a bad choice by WWE. It was a cool RKO to end it, and I wouldn't have cared so much had Ziggler not being built up lately, but to actually go to the point of having him actually lose on an important night for him, I just don't understand why WWE keeps trying to bury Ziggler, but yet at the same time they're trying to push him. You can't do the same at one time. It doesn't work. Anyway, next up we had the Divas Championship. Eve Torres challenged the champion Layla. This match was horrible, and I'm not saying this because it's a Diva match, and pretty much all the Divas match in today's WWE are terrible to watch and only 3 minutes long. It was just a bunch of headlocks and submission holds. I mean, it was a really, 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 really boring, horrible match. I can't speak for shit. Horrible match, and I just found myself wanting to fast forward through it, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to watch it, and, because it shouldn't be that long, and it was actually a lot. To me, it went longer than it should have, and of course, Eve Torres won it with she executed her finisher pretty well. The neck breaker, definitely, when she, twisted her, bam, onto the mat, it actually made a good impact, and it looked really effective. So props to Eve for landing that perfectly, but other than that, the match was terrible and definitely the worst match of the night. Next up, we had another very, 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 very boring and stupid match. The World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio yet again challenged Sheamus, who is somehow still the World Heavyweight Champion. Again, in this match, this match was so bad that I just skipped it. I honestly skipped almost all the match because it was so boring. I can't stand either of these wrestlers. Sheamus is a good guy. It's just fucking so unbelievably stupid that I can't stand to watch him. And Alberto Del Rio, how many times is he going to get a championship shot and lose? How can somebody that keeps losing every single time keep getting a title match? It doesn't add up. So that match was horrible, and of course, once again, it was Sheamus who won the match, which was yet another horrible move by WWE. Sorry, I'm trying to read here. Okay, and then of course, I would say the best match of the night, and some people may say the Ziggler-Orton was the best match, but in my opinion, the best match of the night was the main event. John Cena challenged CM Punk with Paul Heyman at ringside for the WWE Championship. This is a match that they did really, really smart. They started it slow, they took their time, had CM Punk really play the crowd, as the bad guy, really had them hating him by the end of the match. Even though there was plenty of supporters there for Punk, there was plenty of people that were really mad at Punk because he was so cocky in the match, which is what Punk's good at being, is a cocky asshole. Anyway, it was it was an excellent match. Having CM Punk kick out of 2 attitude adjustments, having Cena kick out of 2 GTSs was cool, but the fact that Cena not only kicked out of those 2, but then also kicks out of a rock bottom, that's right, CM Punk actually did a rock bottom as a disrespect move to The Rock, who we know will be facing for the WWE Championship at January's Royal Rumble. And, I think having CM Punk kick out of not 1, not 2, but 3 finishers was a bit over the top. And overall, the match ended with Cena doing a German suplex off of the top turnbuckle, but he accidentally pinned both their shoulders. So Cena's shoulders were down, CM Punk's were down. It ended in a draw, therefore, your winner and still WWE Champion, CM Punk. Overall, you guys, the pay-per-view was really good. The main event was great. I loved how they had it end in a draw. It definitely added some controversy. I don't mind seeing Cena get a title shot again against Punk, as long as it's not a singles match, which I don't know if it will be, but next month is Hell in a Cell on October 28th. It's going to be exciting. Of course, I'm going to watch it, and I will be doing a review when that comes out. That's going to be it for me. This is the Keith Carnes. Please comment and subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you guys in the next piece.